I wasn't supposed to find it. That's what keeps circling in my head as I sit here in my truck, engine idling in the parking lot of some 24-hour diner I've never been to before. The receipt is on the passenger seat, folded and unfolded so many times in the last 3 hours that the creases are starting to tear. The name is still there, still clear, still impossible. Let me back up. My son called me at 11:30 last night. Late, but not unusual. He works nights at a distribution center about 40 minutes from where I live, has for the past 2 years. The pay is decent, the benefits are better, and he's always complaining about how tired he is. Always. "Dad, I left my jacket in the break room," he said. Voice flat, like he'd already run through this conversation in his head and was just going through the motions. "Can you grab it for me? I need it tomorrow, and I don't have time to go back." "You just left work." "I know, but I'm beat. I'll be asleep by the time you could drop it off." I should have said no. I should have told him to handle his own mess. But that's not how I'm built. How 43 years of being the guy who shows up, who fixes things, who doesn't make waves. So I said sure. He texted me the gate code and told me his supervisor would leave the jacket at the front desk. The jacket was there, navy blue, generic, the kind you buy at a hardware store. I grabbed it, said thanks to the bored woman behind the desk, and headed back to my truck. That's when I realized the keys weren't in the pockets. My son always keeps his keys in his jacket. Always. It's one of those little habits you notice when you've known someone their whole life. So I checked again, dug deeper, and that's when my fingers hit the receipt. It was from a coffee shop, someplace called The Grind, time-stamped 3 days ago at 2 in the afternoon. Underneath the price, $12 for 2 drinks, someone had written a phone number in blue ink. Neat handwriting, careful, and next to it, a name, Vanessa. I sat in the truck for a long time, staring at that name. 6 months ago, my son sat across from me in my kitchen and swore on everything he cared about that Vanessa was out of his life. Done, finished, over. He'd been seeing her while he was engaged to his now spouse, and when it came out, because it always comes out, there was hell to pay. His spouse, polished and precise and always 2 steps ahead of everyone, had laid down the law, cut contact or the wedding was off. My son chose the wedding, or so he said. I called the number. I don't know why. Maybe I wanted him to answer, to have some reasonable explanation that would let me fold the receipt back up and forget about it. Maybe I wanted to catch him in the lie so I could finally stop pretending I didn't see the cracks. The phone rang 4 times. Then someone picked up. "Hello?" It wasn't Vanessa. It was a man's voice. Older, rough around the edges, like he smoked too much. "Who is this?" I asked. "Who's this?" he shot back. "I'm looking for Vanessa." A pause, long enough to make my gut tighten. "She's not here right now. Can I take a message?" "When will she be back?" "Depends. What's this about?" I hung up. My hands were shaking, not from fear, from something else, something colder. I drove home and didn't sleep. Instead, I sat at my kitchen table and stared at that receipt until the words stopped making sense. Then I stared some more. By the time the sun came up, I'd made a decision. I was going to find out what my son was hiding, and I was going to do it the only way I knew how, quietly, methodically, without giving him a chance to lie his way out of it. The jacket is still in my truck. I haven't given it to him yet, haven't even texted him back. He called twice this morning, asking where it was. I didn't answer. Let him sweat. Because here's what I've learned in 43 years. People lie when they think you won't check. They lie when they think you're too tired, too trusting, too busy to notice. And my son has been lying for a long time. I can see it now, looking back. The little things, the way he'd check his phone and angle the screen away from me, the way his spouse would finish his sentences when I asked about work, about plans, about anything that required a straight answer, the way they'd exchange looks across the dinner table, like they were running plays in a game I didn't know I was part of. I'm not part of it anymore. I start the truck and pull out of the diner parking lot. The receipt is back in my pocket. I'm going to keep it there, a reminder. Because this isn't about the jacket. It isn't even about Vanessa. It's about the fact that my son looked me in the eye 6 months ago and lied. And then he kept lying. And somewhere along the way, he decided I was too stupid or too soft to figure it out. He was wrong. I drive past the distribution center on my way home. The parking lot is full, cars packed tight under the yellow glow of the streetlights. I wonder if he's inside right now, running his shift, telling everyone how tired he is. I wonder if he's texted Vanessa today. I wonder if he even remembers lying to me, or if it's just another piece of background noise in whatever game he's playing. It doesn't matter. Not yet. I pull into my driveway and sit there for a while, engine off, hands on the wheel. The house is dark. It's always dark these days. My ex-wife took the warm lighting with her when she left, along with the furniture that didn't hurt your back and the idea that people stay when things get hard. I get out and head inside. The jacket comes with me. I hang it on the back of a chair and stare at it like it's evidence. Because it is. My phone buzzes. Another text from my son. Dad, seriously, where's the jacket? I need it. I type back, I'll drop it off later. 3 dots appear, then disappear, then appear again. Okay, thanks. No fight, no pushback, just okay. Like I'm a service he ordered and forgot to tip. I set the phone down and walk to the kitchen. There's a notepad on the counter, one of those cheap spiral ones you buy in bulk. I flip to a clean page and write the name Vanessa at the top. Underneath, I write the phone number. Then I write the date and time from the receipt. Then I sit there, pen in hand, and try to remember every conversation I've had with my son in the last 6 months. The wedding comes back first. It was small, tasteful, expensive in the way that doesn't look expensive. His spouse's family paid for most of it. My ex-wife and I sat on opposite sides of the aisle, pretending we were fine. My son looked happy, or maybe he looked relieved. I couldn't tell the difference anymore. At the reception, I'd asked him how he was feeling, really feeling. He'd smiled, that same smile he used to give me when he was a kid and didn't want to talk about something. I'm good, Dad. Really good. His spouse had appeared next to him, champagne flute in hand, and said, He's exhausted. The planning took everything out of him. I'd laughed, because what else do you do? Now I'm wondering what else I missed, what else I laughed off because it was easier than asking questions. I flip the page and start writing again. This time I'm making a list. Every time my son said he was working late. Every time he said he was too tired to visit. Every time his spouse answered for him. The list gets longer than I expect. By the time I'm done, it's almost noon. My hand aches. The notepad is half full, and I'm angrier than I've been in years. Not the loud kind of angry. Not the kind that makes you throw things or yell at strangers. The quiet kind. The kind that sits in your chest and hardens into something you can use. I tear the pages out of the notepad and fold them carefully. Then I put them in the same pocket as the receipt. Everything in one place. Neat, organized, ready. My phone buzzes again. This time it's his spouse. Hi, just checking in. Did you find the jacket? He really needs it for tomorrow. I read the message 3 times. The exclamation point, the casual tone, the assumption that I'll just do what I'm told. I type back, I have it. I'll get it to him soon. The response comes fast. Thank you so much. You're a lifesaver. I'm not a lifesaver. I'm the guy who's been saving the wrong people. I grab my keys and head back to the truck. The jacket stays on the chair. Let them wonder. I drive to the Grind. It's not hard to find. There are only 3 coffee shops in this town, and only one pretentious enough to call itself the Grind. It's in a strip mall next to a yoga studio and a place that sells overpriced candles. The parking lot is half full, mostly sedans and SUVs that cost more than my truck. I go inside. The place smells like burnt espresso and vanilla. There's a line, but it moves fast. When I get to the counter, the barista, a kid with a nose ring and a sleeve of tattoos, gives me a tired smile. What can I get you? I'm looking for someone, I say. Her name is Vanessa. She come in here often? The kid's smile falters. I don't really know the names of regulars. She would have been here 3 days ago, around 2 in the afternoon. I don't work afternoons. Is there someone here who does? The kid glances toward the back. Manager might know, but, I can't just give out information about customers. I pull out a 20 and set it on the counter. I'm not asking for her address, just if she's a regular. The kid looks at the 20, then at me, then pockets it. There's a woman who comes in a lot with a guy. Dark hair, pretty, always orders 2 drinks. I've seen them a few times. They sit in the back corner. You know the guy? Nah, just that they're always together. I nod. Thanks. I leave without ordering anything. Back in the truck, I sit and watch the door. I don't know what I'm expecting, maybe to see Vanessa walk in. Maybe to see my son. Maybe nothing. 20 minutes pass, then an hour. The sun is high now, the kind of bright that makes everything look washed out. I'm about to leave when a woman walks into the shop. Dark hair, pulled back in a ponytail, jeans and a sweater. She's alone. I wait. She comes out 10 minutes later with 2 drinks. I follow her. She drives a silver sedan. Nothing flashy, nothing memorable. The kind of car you see 100 times a day and never think about twice. She's careful with her turns, always using her signal, staying just under the speed limit. It makes following her easy. We're heading east, away from the strip mall and into a part of town I don't visit often. The houses here are older, set back from the road, with yards that need mowing and fences that need paint. Not poor, but not trying to impress anyone either. It's the kind of neighborhood where people keep to themselves and don't ask questions. She pulls into the driveway of a small ranch house. Tan siding, brown trim, a front porch with 2 rusted chairs. There's a truck in the driveway, old, blue, with a dented tailgate. I park across the street, 2 houses down, and watch. She gets out with the drinks and heads inside. The door closes behind her. No one else comes out. I sit there for a long time, engine off, trying to figure out what I'm doing. This could be nothing. She could be visiting a friend. She could be running an errand. The receipt could mean something else entirely. But the man who answered the phone, his voice, the way he asked what it was about. I'm not wrong. I get out of the truck and walk toward the house. Not fast, not slow, just a guy out for a walk. When I get to the mailbox, I glance at the name. It's faded, half peeled, but I can still read it. J. Turner. I keep walking. Past the house, past the next one, all the way to the end of the block. Then I turn around and come back. The front door is still closed, the curtains are drawn, no movement. I get back in my truck and pull out my phone. I Google J. Turner and the address. Nothing useful comes up, just property records and a listing from 5 years ago when the house was sold. No social media, no obvious connection to my son. I don't know what I expected. A signed confession, a photo of them together. But I'm not leaving. Not yet. An hour passes, then 2. The sun starts to dip, and the light turns soft and golden. A few cars drive by. A dog barks somewhere down the street. I'm starting to think I wasted my day when the front door opens. My son walks out. I freeze. He's wearing the same clothes he had on yesterday. Jeans, a black t-shirt, sneakers. He's carrying a bag, one of those canvas things people use for groceries. He walks to the truck in the driveway, tosses the bag in the bed, and climbs in. I sink lower in my seat. My heart is hammering, but I don't look away. I can't. The truck starts. He backs out of the driveway and heads west. I wait until he's a block away, then I follow. He doesn't go far. Just to a gas station about a mile down the road. He fills up, goes inside, comes back out with a soda and a bag of chips. Then he sits in the truck, engine running, and eats. I'm parked at the edge of the lot, half hidden behind a dumpster. My hands are gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles are white. I want to walk over there and drag him out of the truck. I want to ask him what the hell he thinks he's doing. I want to see the look on his face when he realizes I know. But I don't, because that would tip my hand, and I need more than this. He finishes eating, pulls back onto the road, and drives toward the distribution center. I follow from a distance. He parks in the employee lot, grabs his bag, and heads inside. I sit there for a while, watching the building. Then I turn around and drive back to the house. The silver sedan is still in the driveway. The lights inside are on now, glowing soft through the curtains. I park in the same spot and wait. 20 minutes later, the front door opens again. This time, Vanessa comes out. She's changed clothes. Now she's wearing a dress, something dark and fitted. She gets in the sedan and drives off. I don't follow her. Instead, I get out and walk up to the house. I don't know what I'm planning to do. Knock? Look through a window? Stand there like an idiot until someone notices me? I end up doing none of those things. Instead, I walk around the side of the house. There's a gate, but it's not locked. I push it open and step into the backyard. It's small. There's a back door with a window, and through it I can see into the kitchen. It's empty, clean, but not obsessively so. Dishes in the sink, a coffee maker on the counter, a calendar on the wall with dates circled in red. I pull out my phone and take a picture of the calendar, then I step back and look around the yard. There's nothing here, nothing that screams guilt or betrayal or anything useful. But I'm not done. I walk back to the truck and sit. My mind is racing. My son was in that house, with Vanessa, for hours. And then he went to work like nothing happened. I think about his spouse. Polished, perfect, always in control. Do they know? Are they part of this? I think about the wedding, the vows, the promises. I think about the receipt in my pocket, and the lies, and the way my son looked at me 6 months ago when he swore Vanessa was gone. I'm not angry anymore. Anger is too hot, too loud. This is something colder, sharper. I drive home. The house is still dark. I don't bother turning on the lights. I go straight to the kitchen table and pull out the notepad. I add everything I saw today, the house, the address, the truck, the timing. Then I flip to a new page and start planning. I can't confront him, not yet. If I do, he'll lie. His spouse will back him up. Vanessa will disappear, and I'll be left with nothing but suspicions and a receipt that doesn't prove anything. No, I need more. I need something undeniable, something that can't be explained away. And I need to figure out what his spouse knows. Because if they're covering for him, then this is bigger than an affair. If they're in the dark, then I need to decide how much I'm willing to blow up their life to get at the truth. I sit there for a long time, staring at the notepad. The pages are filling up. Names, dates, places. It's starting to look like evidence. My phone buzzes. A text from my son. Hey, did you drop off the jacket? I didn't see it. I read the message twice. Then I type back, I'll bring it by tomorrow. Okay, thanks, Dad. I set the phone down and close the notepad. Tomorrow I'll give him the jacket. And while I'm there, I'll start asking questions, casual ones, the kind that don't sound like accusations. Because here's what I've learned. The best lies fall apart when you ask the wrong question at the right time. And I'm very good at asking questions. I sleep for a few hours, not well, but enough. When I wake up, it's still dark outside, 5 a.m. The house is cold. I make coffee and sit at the table, staring at the notepad. By the time the sun comes up, I've written 3 more pages. At 8, I text my son. I'll drop the jacket off at 10. You home? He responds immediately. Yeah, thanks. I don't respond. I finish my coffee, take a shower, and get dressed. The jacket is still on the chair. I grab it and head out. The drive to his place takes 20 minutes. He lives in a townhouse on the north side of town, one of those cookie-cutter developments where every unit looks the same. Beige walls, black shutters, a small patch of grass out front that the HOA keeps trimmed. I park in the driveway and walk to the door. Before I can knock, it opens. His spouse is standing there, smiling. Perfect as always. Hair done, makeup light, wearing clothes that look effortless but probably cost more than my truck payment. Good morning, they say. Come in. I step inside. The place smells like vanilla and coffee. Everything is clean. Too clean. Like it's staged for a photo shoot. He's upstairs, they say. I'll grab him. I stand in the entryway, holding the jacket. The walls are covered with photos. Wedding pictures, vacation snapshots, all smiles, all perfect. My son comes down the stairs. He's wearing sweatpants and a hoodie, hair messy, eyes half closed, the picture of exhaustion. Thanks, Dad, he says, taking the jacket. I don't know how I forgot it. You've been forgetting a lot lately, I say. He laughs. Yeah, work's been crazy. Night shifts will do that. Tell me about it. His spouse appears next to him, holding a mug of coffee. Can I get you anything? Coffee? Water? I'm good, I say. They nod, sipping their coffee, watching me. There's something in their eyes. Not suspicion, exactly. More like calculation. How's everything going? I ask, looking at my son, but including them both. Good, my son says. Busy, but good. Busy with work? Yeah, and other stuff. You know how it is. I don't, actually. Tell me. He shifts his weight. Just life, errands, stuff around the house. Sounds exhausting. It is. His spouse steps in. He's been working so hard. I keep telling him to take a break, but he won't listen. I nod. He's good at not listening. There's a pause. My son glances at his spouse. They glance back. Well, I say, I should let you get back to it. Thanks again for bringing the jacket, my son says. No problem. I turn to leave, then stop. Oh, one more thing. They both look at me. You ever go to that coffee place? The Grind? My son's face doesn't change, but his spouse's does. Just a flicker, a tightening around the eyes. Sometimes, my son says. Why? I was there yesterday. Thought I saw you. Wasn't me. I was at work. Must have been someone else then. Must have been. I smile. All right. See you later. I walk out, get in my truck, drive away. In the rearview mirror, I see them standing in the doorway, watching me go. And I know. I don't have proof yet, but I know. They're both lying. The next morning, I start making calls. Not to my son, not to his spouse, not even to Vanessa or Jay Turner. I call people I haven't talked to in years. Cousins, old friends, people who knew my son when he was a kid, people who saw the wedding photos and left comments like, so happy for you both, and you two are perfect together. I don't tell them what I know, not directly. Instead, I ask questions, casual ones, the kind that plant seeds. Have you seen him lately? He looks tired. I heard he's been working a lot. You know how that goes. I ran into someone the other day who said they saw him at some coffee shop. Didn't know he was a regular there. Small things, innocent on the surface, but enough to make people wonder. By noon, I've talked to 6 people. By the end of the day, I've talked to 12. It's not enough. Not yet. But it's a start. I spend the next few days watching, learning, taking notes. My son's routine doesn't change. Work, the ranch house, home, repeat. His spouse's routine is more interesting. They're gone more often now. Not to the salon or the grocery store. To places I don't recognize, meeting people I don't know. I follow them to a coffee shop one afternoon. They sit with someone I've never seen before. A woman, younger, dressed professionally. They talk for an hour. I can't hear what they're saying, but I can see the body language, friendly, animated, like old friends catching up. When the meeting ends, I follow the woman to her car. She gets in and drives to a law office downtown. I write down the name of the firm, then I go home and look it up. It's a family law practice. Divorce, custody, asset division. So that's it. His spouse isn't staying out of love or convenience. They're staying because they're building a case. And when they're ready, they're going to take everything. The realization hits me like a punch to the chest, not because I care about my son losing his money or his house or whatever else, but because it means I'm not the only one planning revenge. His spouse is ahead of me. I sit at the kitchen table and stare at the notepad. All my planning, all my surveillance, all the careful documentation, and it turns out I'm not the architect here. I'm just another player in a game someone else is running. But that doesn't mean I'm out. It just means I need to adjust. If his spouse is planning to leave, they'll need evidence. Photos, texts, proof of infidelity. The kind of thing that holds up in court and makes sure they get the better end of the settlement, and I have all of that. The question is, do I give it to them or do I use it myself? I think about my son, the lies, the arrogance, the way he looked at me when I asked about the grind, like I was an idiot who couldn't put 2 and 2 together. I think about his spouse, the perfection, the control, the way they threw those papers at him in the parking lot. Not out of pain, but out of strategy. They're both using each other, and they've both been using me. So why should I help either of them? I pull out my phone and scroll through the contacts. I find Jay Turner's number, I'd saved it after our conversation, and call. He answers on the 3rd ring. Yeah, it's me, the father. What do you want? I need to ask you something. Has anyone else been asking about Vanessa? Lawyers, private investigators, anyone like that? There's a pause. No. Why? Just checking. What's going on? I think my son's spouse is building a divorce case, which means they might come after Vanessa eventually, subpoena her, get her to testify. She won't do that. You sure? Another pause. Longer this time. No. That's what I thought. So what are you saying? I'm saying we need to move faster before his spouse does. Move faster how? I'm working on it. I'll call you. I hang up before he can ask more questions. Then I sit there, thinking, planning, adjusting. If his spouse is going to lawyers, that means they're playing the long game, gathering evidence, waiting for the right moment, making sure everything is airtight before they pull the trigger. But long games have a weakness. They require patience, and patience creates opportunities. All I need to do is create a situation where patience isn't an option. I open my laptop and start researching. I look up the law firm his spouse met with, find out who the partners are, look at their case history, see what kind of clients they represent. It's a good firm, expensive, specializes in high net worth divorces, the kind of place that doesn't take cases unless there's significant assets to divide, which makes me wonder, what assets do my son and his spouse have? I pull up public records, property records, business filings, anything I can find. The townhouse is in both their names. Bought 3 years ago, still have a mortgage. There's a joint bank account. I can't see the balance, but I can see the account exists. And then I find something interesting. 2 years ago, his spouse started an LLC. It's registered as a consulting firm. No employees listed except them. No public financials. But LLCs are useful for hiding assets, moving money, keeping things separate in case of divorce. So that's the play. His spouse has been moving money into the LLC, building a safety net, making sure that when they leave with more than half. I lean back and stare at the screen. This is bigger than I thought. This isn't just about an affair. It's about money, control, power, and my son has no idea. Or maybe he does. Maybe that's why he hasn't left. Because he knows that if he does, he loses everything. Either way, I don't care. I close the laptop and grab my keys. It's time to talk to his spouse. I drive to the townhouse. The white SUV is in the driveway. My son's truck is gone. Good. This conversation needs to happen without him. I walk up to the door and knock. His spouse answers, smiling that same perfect smile. Oh, hi. I wasn't expecting you. I need to talk to you. The smile falters slightly. Sure, come in. I step inside. The place still smells like vanilla. Still looks like a catalog. Is everything okay? They ask, closing the door. Not really. They gesture to the couch. Sit. Can I get you something? Coffee? Water? I'm fine. I sit. They sit across from me, hands folded in their lap, waiting. I pull out the photos and set them on the coffee table, one by one. Vanessa and my son at a restaurant, in a parking lot, on the couch at the ranch house. His spouse doesn't react. Just looks at the photos, then at me. Where did you get these? They ask. Calm. Too calm. Does it matter? It might. I know about the law firm. I know about the LLC. I know you're planning to leave him. They don't deny it. Just nod slowly. And I want to know why you're still here. That's none of your business. He's my son. That makes it my business. He's my spouse. That makes it mine. We stare at each other. A standoff. Finally, they sigh and lean back. You want the truth? That'd be nice. Fine. I'm staying because leaving right now would cost me more than it's worth. We have joint debt, joint assets. If I leave without a plan, I get screwed, so I'm building a plan, and when it's ready, I'm gone. How long have you known about Vanessa? 6 months, maybe longer. And you didn't leave then because I wasn't ready. Because I didn't have proof. Because I wanted to make sure that when I left on my terms. So this is all just strategy to you. Of course it is. What did you think it was? Love? The word hangs in the air like a slap. Did you ever love him? I ask. They look at the photos again. I thought I did, but I don't think I knew what love was. I think I just liked the idea of him, the idea of us, the perfect marriage, the perfect life. And now? Now I know better. I pick up one of the photos, the one of my son and Vanessa kissing. If I give you these, what happens? I use them, file for divorce, get what I'm owed, move on. And if I don't give them to you? Then I find another way. It'll take longer, but I'll get there. What if I tell him you're planning to leave? They smile. It's not warm. Go ahead. He already knows. We had a fight about it 2 weeks ago. That's what the texts were about. He begged me to stay, promised he'd end things with Vanessa. I told him I'd think about it. But I'm not thinking about it. I'm just buying time. So he knows you know. Of course he does. And he's still seeing her anyway. Of course he is. I set the photo down. You two deserve each other. Maybe, but I'm not the one who lied. You're lying right now. You told him you'd think about staying. That's a lie. That's strategy. It's the same thing. They don't argue, just picks up the photos and hands them back to me. Keep them. I don't need them. I have my own. I take the photos and stand. One more question. What? If you could hurt him, really hurt him, would you? They think about it for a moment, then nods. Yes. Good. Because I'm going to. And I wanted to make sure you wouldn't get in my way. I won't, as long as you don't get in mine. Deal. I leave. Get in my truck. Sit there for a long time, staring at the steering wheel. I came here thinking his spouse was a victim, someone who deserved sympathy, or at least honesty. But they're not a victim. They're a player, just like my son, just like Vanessa. And I'm done playing. I don't go home. I drive to the distribution center. It's late afternoon. My son's shift starts in a few hours. I park in the employee lot and wait. Around 10, he shows up, parks his truck, grabs his bag, heads inside. Same routine, always the same. I wait until he's been inside for 30 minutes. Then I get out and walk to the entrance. The woman at the front desk recognizes me. You need another jacket? She asks, smiling. No, I need to talk to my son. It's important. He's on the floor. I can call him up. That's okay. I'll find him. She hesitates. I'm not supposed to let people back there without a badge. I pull out a 20 and set it on the counter. I'll be quick. She looks at the 20, then at me, then pockets it and waves me through. The warehouse is massive. High ceilings, rows of shelves stacked with boxes, forklifts humming back and forth. It's loud, cold, the kind of place that swallows sound. I find my son near the back, scanning boxes with a handheld device. He's alone. Perfect. "Hey," I say. He jumps, nearly drops the scanner. "Dad, what are you doing here?" "We need to talk." "I'm working." "Take a break." "I can't just take a break. I have a quota." "Then I'll make this quick." I pull out the photos and show him the one of him and Vanessa kissing. "Explain this." His face goes pale. He looks around, making sure no one's watching. "Where did you get that?" "Does it matter?" "Yeah, it matters. That's private." Nothing's private when you're lying to everyone around you. He grabs my arm and pulls me toward a corner, away from the main floor. "Keep your voice down." "Or what? You'll lie louder?" "This isn't what it looks like. It looks like you're cheating on your spouse with someone you swore you'd never see again. It's complicated." "No, it's not. You're a liar, and you're a coward." He lets go of my arm and steps back. "You don't understand." "Then explain it to me." "I can't." "Try." He runs a hand through his hair. "I didn't mean for this to happen. I tried to stop, I really did. But Vanessa, she gets me, in a way no one else does. And I know that sounds stupid, but it's true." "So, you're willing to throw away your marriage for someone who gets you?" "I'm not throwing it away. I'm trying to figure it out." "By lying to everyone?" "By keeping my options open." I stare at him. "Your spouse knows," I say. He blinks. "What?" "They know about Vanessa. They've known for months, and they're planning to leave you." "That's not true." "It is. I talked to them. They're building a case, gathering evidence, and when they're ready, they're going to take you for everything you're worth." He shakes his head. "No, we talked about it. They said they'd stay." "They lied." "You're lying." "Am I?" I pull out my phone and show him a photo I took of the law firm his spouse visited. "Recognize this place?" He stares at the screen. His face goes from pale to gray. "They're playing you," I say. "Just like you're playing them. Just like you're playing Vanessa. Everyone's playing everyone, and you're the only one who doesn't see it." "Why are you doing this?" he asks. His voice is shaking now. "Because I'm tired of watching you ruin your life. This is my life, not yours. You made it mine when you asked me to drop off a jacket, when you left a receipt in your pocket, when you lied to my face and thought I wouldn't notice. I didn't ask for your help. No, you asked for my ignorance, but you're not getting it." He turns away, presses his hands against one of the shelves. For a moment, I think he might cry, but he doesn't. "What do you want from me?" he asks. "I want you to stop lying. And if I can't, then you deal with the consequences." I turn and walk away. He doesn't follow. By the time I get back to the truck, my hands are shaking again. Not from anger this time, from something else, something heavier. I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. I'm not even sure what the right thing is anymore, but I know I can't stop now. I drive to the ranch house. It's dark, no one home. I park across the street and call Jay Turner. "Yeah?" he answers. "It's me. You busy?" "Not really. Why?" "I just talked to my son. Told him I know everything." "How'd that go?" "About as well as you'd expect." He tried to justify it. Said it's complicated. Of course he did. I also told him his spouse is planning to leave. That seemed to shake him. Good. He deserves to be shaken. "Yeah, but now I need to figure out what's next." "What do you mean?" "I mean, I've spent a week gathering evidence, confronting people, making everyone uncomfortable, but I don't have an end game. I don't know how this is supposed to end." There's a long pause on the other end. Then, "You want my opinion?" "Sure." "End it loud. Make sure everyone knows what he did. Not just his spouse, everyone, friends, family, co-workers. Burn it all down so there's nothing left to hide behind." "And how do I do that?" "I don't know. But when you figure it out, let me know. I want to watch." He hangs up. I sit there in the dark, thinking about what he said. Burn it all down. It's tempting. God, it's tempting. To take everything I know and throw it out into the world. Let people see my son for who he really is. Let his spouse's perfect image crumble. Let Vanessa's lies catch up with her. But that's not revenge. That's chaos. And I want something more precise. I start the truck and drive. No destination again. Just thinking. By the time I get home, it's past midnight. I'm exhausted, but I don't sleep. Instead, I sit at the kitchen table and pull out the notepad. I flip through the pages. All the notes, all the evidence, all the planning. And then I see it. The answer's been there the whole time. I just wasn't looking at it right. It's not about exposing my son. It's not about helping his spouse. It's not even about punishing Vanessa. It's about making them all face each other, at the same time, in a way they can't avoid. I pull out my phone and start making calls. First, I call his spouse. They answer on the second ring. "It's me," I say. "I need a favor." "What kind of favor?" "I need you to invite some people to your house, tomorrow night. Tell them it's a dinner party, something casual." "Why?" "Because I'm going to end this, and I need witnesses." There's a pause. Then, "Who do you want me to invite?" "Everyone, family, friends, people who matter, the more the better." "And what are you going to do?" "You'll see." This better not blow back on me. "It won't. You'll come out of this looking like the victim, I promise." Another pause. Then, "Fine, I'll do it." "Good. I'll be there at 7. I hang up and call Jay Turner. "I need you to bring Vanessa to a townhouse tomorrow night. 7 o'clock? I'll text you the address." "Why?" "Because this ends tomorrow, and she needs to be there." "She's not going to want to come?" "Then don't give her a choice." "That's not how this works." "Make it work." I hang up before he can argue. Then I sit back and stare at the notepad. Tomorrow night, everyone who's been lying is going to be in the same room, and I'm going to make them tell the truth, all of it, whether they want to or not. The next day drags like a prison sentence. I don't sleep, can't. My mind is running through scenarios, planning contingencies, imagining every way this could go wrong. By morning, I've got it mapped out. Not perfectly, nothing about this is perfect, but enough. I make coffee and sit at the kitchen table. The notepad is open in front of me. I read through the notes one more time, making sure I didn't miss anything. Around 10, I get a text from his spouse. "Invites sent. 15 people confirmed. What are you planning?" I type back, "You'll see." Another text. "You're making me nervous." "Good. Stay nervous. It'll make it more believable." No response. At noon, Jay Turner calls. "She doesn't want to come," he says. "I figured. So what do I do?" "Tell her you need to talk to her about something important. Tell her it's about us, about your relationship. Make it sound urgent. And if she still says no, then tell her the truth. Tell her I have photos. Tell her I'm going to send them to everyone she knows unless she shows up." That's blackmail. I know. He's quiet for a moment. Then, "All right, I'll get her there." "Good. Don't be late." I hang up and pace the kitchen. The adrenaline is building now, that jittery electric feeling you get before something big happens, something irreversible. I think about backing out, just letting it go, walking away and pretending none of this happened, but I can't, not now, not after everything. Around 2, I drive to the townhouse. I park down the street and watch. His spouse's SUV is in the driveway. My son's truck is gone. He's probably at work, oblivious to what's coming. Good, let him be oblivious. It'll make the impact sharper. At 6, I see cars start arriving. Friends, family, people I recognize from social media posts. They're all dressed casually, carrying bottles of wine or dishes of food, smiling, laughing, acting like this is a normal dinner party. His spouse greets them at the door. Perfect host, perfect smile, playing the part like a professional. At 6:45, Jay Turner's truck pulls up. Vanessa is in the passenger seat. She looks pissed. He looks resigned. They park and sit there for a minute arguing. I can't hear the words, but I can see the gestures. She's shaking her head. He's pointing at the house. Finally, she gets out, slams the door. They walk to the house together. His spouse answers the door, and I see their face change. Confusion, then recognition, then calculation. They let them in. I wait 5 more minutes. Then I grab the folder I prepared, all the photos, all the evidence, all the documentation, and walk to the house. I don't knock, just open the door and walk in. The living room is full, 15 people, maybe more, all standing around with drinks and plates of food, talking, laughing. The sound hits me like a wave. Then they see me. The room goes quiet. His spouse steps forward. "Oh, you made it. I wasn't sure you'd come." "Playing along?" "Good." "Wouldn't miss it," I say. I scan the room. My son is there, standing in the corner with a beer in his hand. He sees me and his face goes pale. Vanessa is near the kitchen, talking to someone I don't recognize. She hasn't seen me yet. Jay Turner is standing by the door, arms crossed, watching. I set the folder on the coffee table and clear my throat. Can I have everyone's attention? The room goes quiet again, all eyes on me. I know this is supposed to be a casual dinner party, I say, but I'm here to talk about something that's been going on for a while, something that needs to be said. His spouse steps forward. Maybe we should talk about this privately. No, I think everyone here should hear this. My son moves toward me. Dad, don't. Sit down. Dad. Sit. Down. He stops. Looks around the room. No one's moving. No one's leaving. I open the folder and pull out the first photo. Vanessa and my son at a restaurant. My son has been having an affair, I say, for over a year, with this woman. I hold up the photo so everyone can see. The room erupts, gasps, whispers. Someone drops a glass. Vanessa's face goes white. She looks at Jay Turner, who just shrugs. His spouse steps forward again, hand outstretched. Let's not do this here. Why not? Everyone here thinks you two are perfect. They see the posts, the photos, the happy couple, but it's all a lie. I pull out another photo, this one of Vanessa and my son kissing. He swore he ended things with her. 6 months ago, he looked me in the eye and promised me she was out of his life. But he lied. He's been lying to all of us. My son steps forward now. Dad, stop, please. Why? So you can keep pretending? So you can keep lying to everyone who cares about you? This is my life. You have no right. I have every right. You made this my business when you asked me to drop off your jacket, when you left evidence in your pocket, when you disrespected everyone in this room by pretending to be someone you're not. I turn to his spouse. And you. You've known about this for months. You've been planning your exit, building a case, gathering evidence, but you didn't leave. You stayed. Why? Because it was convenient? Because you wanted to make sure you got your share? Their face hardens. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't I? You met with a divorce lawyer 3 days ago. You've been moving money into an LLC. You've been playing the long game, waiting for the right moment to leave and take everything with you. The room is silent now. No whispers, no gasps, just shock. His spouse glares at me. You had no right to dig into my life. And you had no right to lie to everyone here. I turn to Vanessa. And you. You've been playing both of them, telling my son you love him, telling Jay Turner you'll stop, but you haven't stopped. You've just gotten better at hiding it. She doesn't respond, just stares at the floor. Jay Turner steps forward. Tell them what you told me last week. Vanessa looks up. What? Tell them. She shakes her head. I don't. Tell them you said you were leaving me, that you were going to ask him to leave his spouse, that you were going to make it official. My son's head snaps toward her. What? Vanessa's eyes fill with tears. I didn't mean it. You said it. I was angry. I didn't mean it. But you said it. The room is spinning now, accusations flying, voices overlapping. Someone is crying, someone else is yelling. And I'm standing in the middle of it all, holding the folder, watching it burn. His spouse turns to my son. You told her you'd leave me? My son doesn't answer, just stands there, frozen. Answer me. I didn't. You told her you'd leave me. I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted. You're pathetic. The word lands like a slap. My son flinches. One of the guests, a woman I don't recognize, sets down her drink and heads for the door. I'm not staying for this. Others follow. Within minutes, half the room is empty. The ones who stay are the ones who can't look away. Family, mostly. People who feel obligated to witness the wreckage. His spouse turns to me. Are you happy now? No, but I'm done. Done with what? Done watching you two destroy each other. Done pretending I don't see what's happening. Done being the idiot who drops off jackets and asks no questions. I set the folder on the table and walk to the door. My son calls after me. Dad, wait. I don't turn around. There's nothing left to say. I'm sorry. No, you're not. You're just sorry you got caught. I walk out, get in my truck, sit there for a moment, hands on the wheel, breathing hard. Through the window, I can see the townhouse. The lights are still on, shadows moving, voices rising. I start the truck and drive away. I don't go home. I drive to the diner where I had eggs a few days ago. It's late, almost 9, but the place is still open. Same smell, same booths, same tired waitress who doesn't care why I'm there. I order coffee and sit in the corner. My phone is buzzing. Texts coming in. Calls I'm not answering. I pull out the notepad and flip through the pages. All the planning, all the surveillance, all the evidence. It worked. I did what I set out to do. I exposed them, made them face the truth in front of everyone who mattered. So why do I feel like this? Not triumphant, not satisfied, just empty. I finish the coffee and order another. The waitress brings it without a word. My phone buzzes again. This time, I look. It's a text from his spouse. "You got what you wanted. I hope it was worth it." I type back, "It wasn't about what I wanted." Then what was it about? The truth. The truth doesn't fix anything. It just breaks things faster. I don't respond. Another text comes in. This one from Jay Turner. "Vanessa left. Don't know where she went. Don't care." I type back, "Good." Then I turn off my phone and sit there in the silence. The waitress comes by with the coffee pot. "You want a refill?" "No, I'm good." She sets the pot down and looks at me. Really looks at me. "You okay?" "Yeah." "You don't look okay." "I'm fine." She nods. Doesn't believe me, but she walks away anyway. I sit there for another hour. Then I pay the bill and leave. The drive home is long, longer than it should be. The roads are empty. The streetlights blur together. When I pull into my driveway, the house is dark. I sit in the truck for a while, staring at it. This is what I came back to. An empty house, a cold kitchen, a notepad full of evidence that doesn't matter anymore. I get out and go inside. The photos are still on the table. I gather them up, put them back in the folder, and shove the folder into a drawer. Out of sight. Then I sit at the table and stare at the wall. My phone is still off. I don't turn it back on. I don't want to know what they're saying, what they're thinking, how they're spinning this to make themselves look better. It doesn't matter. They're not my problem anymore. I sleep for a few hours. Not well. I keep waking up, thinking I hear something. Footsteps, voices, the sound of a door opening. But the house is empty. It's always empty. By morning, I'm exhausted. I make coffee and sit at the table. The notepad is still there. I flip through the pages one more time, then close it and set it aside. I think about what comes next, where I go from here, and I don't have an answer. My phone is still off. I leave it that way. Around noon, there's a knock at the door. I don't answer. The knock comes again, louder this time. I get up and look through the window. It's my son. I open the door. He's standing there, hands in his pockets, looking like he hasn't slept. "Can I come in?" "Why?" "Because we need to talk." "We talked last night." "No, you talked. I just stood there and took it." I step aside. He walks in. We sit at the table. The notepad is between us. He glances at it, but doesn't touch it. "I don't know what to say," he starts. "Then don't say anything." "I need to explain." "There's nothing to explain. You cheated. You lied. You got caught. End of story." "It's not that simple." "It is." He leans back and rubs his face. "I know you're angry. I get it. But what you did last night, that was too far." "Too far? You've been lying to everyone for a year. You've been sneaking around, disrespecting your spouse, disrespecting me. And you think what I did was too far? You humiliated me in front of everyone. You humiliated yourself. I made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting someone's birthday. This was a choice. You chose to lie. You chose to keep lying. You chose to keep seeing Vanessa even after you promised you'd stop. I know. Do you? Because it doesn't seem like you do." He doesn't respond. Just sits there staring at the table. "I loved someone once," he finally says. "Before I got married. Someone I thought I'd spend my life with. But it didn't work out. And when I met my spouse, I thought I could make it work. I thought I could be happy. And I was, for a while. But then I ran into Vanessa again, and all those feelings came back, and I didn't know what to do. So you did both. I tried to end it. I really did. But I couldn't. That's not an excuse." "I know." We sit in silence for a while. Then he asks, "What happens now?" "I don't know. That's up to you and your spouse. They're leaving me. They made that pretty clear last night. I'm not surprised. Are you happy about that?" "No, but I'm not sad either." He looks at me. "What do you want from me?" "Nothing. I don't want anything from you." "Then why did you do this?" "Because I was tired of being lied to. Because I was tired of watching you destroy your life and pretending I didn't see it. Because someone had to stop the bleeding." "You didn't stop anything. You just made it worse." "No, I made it visible. There's a difference." He stands. "I should go." "Probably." He walks to the door, then stops. For what it's worth, I am sorry. I know you are, but sorry doesn't fix this. I know. He leaves. The door closes behind him. I sit at the table for a long time. Then I grab the notepad and throw it in the trash. I don't need it anymore. The next few days are quiet. I don't hear from my son. I don't hear from his spouse. I don't hear from anyone. Jay Turner calls once. I let it go to voicemail. He doesn't leave a message. I go back to work. My boss asks where I've been. I tell him I had some family stuff to deal with. He doesn't ask for details. The warehouse is the same. The job is the same. Nothing's changed except me. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not even sad. I'm just tired. Around a week later, I get a text from his spouse. I filed for divorce. Thought you should know. I type back, good luck. Thanks for everything. I don't respond. A few days after that, I see my son's truck parked outside a motel on the edge of town. I don't stop, just drive past. It's not my problem anymore. 2 weeks after the dinner party, I'm sitting in my kitchen when someone knocks on the door. It's his spouse. They're standing there with a folder under their arm, looking tired but composed. Can I come in? They ask. Sure. They sit at the table. I pour 2 cups of coffee without asking. I wanted to thank you, they say. For what? For what you did at the party. It gave me the push I needed. I didn't do it for you. I know, but it helped anyway. They open the folder and pull out some papers. The divorce is moving forward. My lawyer says it'll be final in a few months. Congratulations. I'm not looking for congratulations. I'm looking for closure. Then you're talking to the wrong person. They sip their coffee. I know you think I'm just as bad as him, that I was using him, playing games. Were you? Yes, but not the way you think. I stayed because I thought I could fix it. Fix him, fix us, but you can't fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed. No, you can't. I wasted 2 years trying, and when I finally figured that out, I started planning my exit. Not because I wanted to hurt him, but because I needed to protect myself. And the LLC, the lawyers, the money, all of it. Because if I left without a plan, I'd have nothing, and I've worked too hard to walk away with nothing. I nod. Fair enough. I'm not asking for your forgiveness. I'm just asking you to understand. I understand. Doesn't mean I agree with how you did it. I know. They stand. I should go. Yeah. At the door, they turn back. One more thing. What? Your son asked me to tell you he's moving, out of state, starting over somewhere new. Good for him. He wanted me to ask if you talked to him before he leaves. No. He said he wants to make things right. He can't, and I'm not interested in pretending he can. They nod. I figured, but I told him I'd ask. You asked. Now you can tell him I said no. They leave. I close the door and go back to the kitchen. The coffee is cold. I dump it in the sink and stare out the window. I think about my son, moving, starting over, running away from the mess he made. Part of me wants to call him, to tell him he can't outrun this, that it'll follow him wherever he goes. But I don't, because it's not my job to save him from himself. Another week passes, then another. Life goes back to normal, or as normal as it can be. I work, I eat, I sleep. I don't think about my son, or his spouse, or Vanessa, or any of it. Or I try not to. But sometimes, late at night, I think about the jacket, the receipt, the name written in blue ink, and I wonder if I would have been better off just ignoring it. Just dropping off the jacket and going home and pretending I didn't see anything. But I can't imagine that version of myself anymore. The guy who doesn't ask questions, the guy who just does what he's told, that guy is gone. One afternoon, I'm at the diner. The same one, the same booth, when Jay Turner walks in. He sees me and nods. Then he sits down across from me. Didn't expect to see you here, I say. Could say the same. The waitress comes by. He orders coffee and eggs. We sit in silence for a while. Then he says, Vanessa's gone. Moved in with a friend. Don't know where. You okay with that? Yeah, I am. Took me a while, but yeah. Good. Your son's still around? No. Moved out of state. Think he learned anything? No. Jay Turner laughs. It's not a happy sound. Yeah, probably not. The waitress brings his food. He eats. I drink my coffee. You ever think about what you would have done differently? He asks. All the time. And? I wouldn't have dropped off the jacket. He nods. Yeah, that's where it started, huh? Yeah. For me, it was the texts. I found them on her phone. If I hadn't looked, I never would have known. Would that have been better? I don't know, maybe. We sit there for a while longer. Two guys who got caught in someone else's mess. Two guys who tried to fix it and only made it worse. You planning to stay in town? He asks. Yeah. You? Yeah. Too old to start over somewhere new. I hear that. He finishes his eggs and stands. Take care of yourself. You too? He leaves. I sit there for a while longer, staring at my coffee. Then I pay the bill and go home. The house is still dark, still cold, still empty, but it's mine, and that's enough. 3 months later, I'm at the grocery store when I see her. Vanessa. She's in the produce section, picking through apples like she's looking for the perfect one. She hasn't seen me yet. I think about walking away, just turning around and leaving before she notices. But I don't. I walk up to her. Vanessa. She turns. Her face goes pale. Oh, hi. Didn't expect to see you here. I'm staying with a friend nearby. So I heard. She sets down the apple she was holding. Look, I know you probably hate me. I don't hate you. You don't? No, I don't care enough to hate you. She flinches. That's fair. Is it? Yeah, it is. We stand there for a moment. Awkward, uncomfortable. How's your son? She asks. I don't know. Haven't talked to him. Oh, how's Turner? I don't know. Haven't talked to him either. So you're just alone. Yeah, I guess I am. She looks at the apples again. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I know that sounds stupid, but it's true. It does sound stupid, because it's a lie. What? You meant for it to happen. You chose it. You kept choosing it. And when it all fell apart, you acted like you were the victim. I'm not. Yes, you are. You're standing here telling me you didn't mean for it to happen, like that absolves you of responsibility. But it doesn't. You knew what you were doing. You knew he was married. You knew it was wrong. And you did it anyway. She doesn't respond, just stares at the floor. I'm not telling you this to make you feel bad, I say. I'm telling you this because you need to hear it. You need to stop pretending you're some innocent bystander who got caught up in something. You weren't. You were a participant, and you need to own that. She looks up. Her eyes are red. You're right. I know. I'm sorry. I'm not the one you should be apologizing to. I know. I turn to leave, then stop. One more thing. What? Stay away from married people. I will. I walk away. Don't look back. When I get to my truck, I sit there for a moment, hands on the wheel. That should have felt better. The confrontation, the honesty, the closure. But it didn't. It just felt necessary. I start the truck and drive home. The house is still dark, still cold, but it's quieter now. The noise in my head, the constant loop of anger and frustration and betrayal, it's quieter. Not gone, just quieter. I go inside and make dinner. Nothing fancy, just pasta and sauce from a jar. I eat at the table, alone, staring at the empty chair across from me. I think about calling someone, my ex-wife maybe, or an old friend. But I don't, because I don't know what I'd say. After dinner, I clean up and sit on the couch. The TV is off. The house is silent, and for the first time in months, I'm okay with that. The next day, I get a letter. It's from my son. I stare at it for a long time before opening it. Part of me wants to throw it away, burn it, pretend I never got it. But I don't. I open it. The letter is short, handwritten. His handwriting has always been messy. Dad, I know you probably don't want to hear from me, and I don't blame you. What I did was inexcusable. I hurt a lot of people, including you. I'm not writing to ask for forgiveness. I don't deserve that. I'm just writing to tell you that I'm sorry, and that I'm trying to do better. I moved to Colorado, got a new job, started seeing a therapist. I don't know if it'll help, but I'm trying. I think about that night at the townhouse a lot, about what you said, about how I lied and kept lying. You were right, I did. I don't know if we'll ever talk again, but if we do, I hope I can show you that I've changed, that I'm not the person I was. Take care of yourself. Your son. I read the letter twice. Then I fold it and set it on the table. I don't know how to feel. Angry, sad, relieved, maybe all of it, maybe none of it. I sit there for a while, staring at the letter. Then I pick it up, walk to the kitchen, and throw it in the trash. Not out of anger, not out of spite, just because I'm done Done with the lies, done with the excuses, done with waiting for people to change. I'm done, and that's okay. A few days later, I'm at work when my boss pulls me aside. "You doing all right?" he asks. "Yeah. Why?" "You've seemed different lately." "Different how?" "Quieter, more focused." "I don't know, just different." "I'm fine." "Good, just checking." He walks away. I go back to work. That night, I drive past the townhouse. It's empty now. A for sale sign is in the yard. I don't stop, just keep driving. Past the distribution center, past the diner, past the ranch house, all the places that used to mean something, all the places that don't anymore. I drive until I'm on the edge of town. Then I pull over and sit there, engine idling, staring at the road ahead. I think about my son, about his spouse, about Vanessa, about all the lies and the betrayal and the mess they made, and I realize something. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not sad. I'm just free. Free from the burden of pretending, free from the weight of other people's mistakes, free from the expectation that I have to fix everything. I'm free. I pull back onto the road and drive home. The house is dark. I turn on the lights. For the first time in months, it doesn't feel cold. It just feels like home. I make dinner, sit at the table, eat in silence, and when I'm done, I clean up and go to bed. No notepad, no photos, no evidence, just sleep, deep, dreamless sleep, the kind I haven't had in months. When I wake up the next morning, the sun is shining through the window. I get up, make coffee, and sit at the table. The notepad is still in the trash, the photos are still in the drawer, and I'm still here, not broken, not defeated, just here. I finish my coffee and get dressed. Another day, another shift, another routine, but it's different now, because I'm different. I'm not the guy who drops off jackets and asks no questions. I'm not the guy who pretends everything is fine. I'm the guy who faced the truth, who demanded honesty, who refused to be lied to. And that's enough. That's more than enough. I grab my keys and head out the door. The truck starts on the first try. I drive to work. The sun is bright, the road is clear, and for the first time in a long time, I feel like I can breathe.